I'm going to try to do the best I can and get through this in one coherent take. First of all, this video will most likely feature some strong language, profanity, adult language, mired in a heavy bit of negativity. So if you don't like those sorts of things, this is probably not the video for you. Secondly, wallet. I'm not scripting this video, and I tried to do this at a point in time in my day where these feelings are fresh, because today has been a day. And I really wanted to talk to you about some of the dark sides of doing YouTube as a job, like a full-time job. I guess I need to start with a little bit of backstory. My name's Brandon Talbot. I am 40 and a half years old. I spent the last 21 years of my life being a performance exercise specialist, personal trainer. I trained professional athletes, worked with professional teams, college teams, really big high schools, and I did that for a long time. I was also a professional athlete. I was a professional beach volleyball player. That's what I used to do. 3 years ago, I started doing YouTube a little more seriously. I've been on the platform for like 12 years, but I wasn't really doing anything with it. And then in 2020, in 2019, I was making a few videos here and there on my phone in a small little room. Then I kind of graduated to my garage, where I started making a few more videos. And then in 2020, I decided to take it more seriously, like build a set and pump out videos every week while being a trainer. And then in February of last year, I decided to stop training altogether and I started doing YouTube full time. That is on my main channel. That main channel is just my name. And it's kind of a channel where you take fitness and tech and they just kind of intersect. And it was pretty fun for the most part. This is where I wish I would have scripted. And during that time, I think it was like a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years, I started this channel, a little camera channel, because I'm super passionate about photography and videography and telling a better story. That's really why I got onto YouTube in the first place. And so I made this as a way to kind of fill my creative cup, because the few times that I posted about photography or videography on my main channel didn't go anywhere. And even though that shouldn't matter, when you're doing when you have a channel that is your job, that was my only source of income, unfortunately those metrics start to matter. And I guess this is the first dark truth about YouTube, is that in a blink of an eye, everything good can turn sour. My channel really started to take off in 2020, and I went from like 300 followers to 5,000 by the end of the year, 20,000 the year after that, and I thought, we're still going up. And then it really just started to kind of like dwindle. I went from 1,500 subs a month down to about 700, and that's kind of where I was at the whole year last year until the last 3 months. For an unexplained reason, it just halved. 800 to 400 to 200. And this month, we might not even break 100. And it's left me in a weird spot, because along with that, when you're doing YouTube, views are kind of like everything. It's what determines a sponsor coming out and saying like, hey, we want to pay you to make a video. And having the channel just fall off a cliff, so did my income. I have probably lost 95% of my income. That's not fun. It's pretty scary. And because of this, this channel, the channel that's supposed to be my creative cup filling channel, the channel with no pressure, there's pressure now. And it's not like pressure to perform in a way. It's just that other channel, no matter what I do, it's just not growing, it's not performing. And so my brain goes, man, you're gonna have to put so much more effort into that other channel. And yeah, it was just like that everything just kind of turned off. It went from being like, hey, I'm not really growing that fast, but I am growing, but I'm making really good money. And so that's okay. But now there's no growth and there's no money, and that's scary. So one thing I want you to know is that you have as much control as you think you have, you don't. You don't have that control. And so make sure you have something that you completely control, whether that's an email list or a website or something. Now, another part of this is the platform itself has me feeling, and maybe it has you feeling like this too, I'm in a constant state of feeling like I don't have enough, right? This platform and social media in general really creates a scarcity mindset. There's never enough, you don't have enough, you're constantly comparing yourself to other people, and especially on this side of YouTube, the photography and videography, so much gear, you're always thinking like you never have enough, you don't have the right things. But not only that, now with like AI and Mid-Journey or whatever it's called, and ChatGPT, you're constantly in a state of urgency. Like if you don't do it now, you're gonna get left behind. And I gotta tell you, as a 40-year-old, this sucks so bad. If I was like 25, would be like, maybe I can adapt, I still have a long life. But as a 40-year-old trying to do this with you younger generation that gets this stuff better than I do, that state of scarcity and urgency is amplified tenfold. And it is honestly driving me nuts. It's hard to keep up and feel like I'm good enough or I'm doing enough. So I want you to keep that in mind. We'll talk about this a little bit later, I think, when I close this video out. The other thing that you got to be aware of is that this can be an incredibly lonely job. I don't really have friends. You know, in a typical job with coworkers, you can talk to people. But I don't really have that. I do have some YouTube friends and I get to talk to them, but there's nothing face to face. Everything's over a phone line or text or, you know, Instagram, and God, this is a lonely job. I come down, I'm so grateful for the studio, but well before the sun comes up, I'm in here, and well after the sun goes down, I'm in here. And I just, in some ways, I don't feel like I can socialize normally anymore. When I start talking to somebody, I feel like I've been cooped up for so long that I just vomit words all over them because I'm so excited to like talk to another human being. And you YouTubers that do this will know, like, this isn't a job that is like super common yet. And so when you meet somebody that also does it, it's like, holy shit, you get it. Like, you get the weirdness of this job, because this job could be the perfect job, but this job also has these weird stresses that are super unique to it. And so when you meet somebody that does YouTube, they're like the only ones that will get it. And I can't tell you how many conversations I've had with normal people where I've said way too much. Like, I don't have a filter anymore, and I don't have like a stopper. Like, hey, Brandon, let's cut it out. They're probably fucking sick of you talking at this point. Like, I just don't get it. So just be aware that, like, if you're not you need to get out there and collaborate with people and be outside and do things. And I do jujitsu is kind of like my interaction, but you know, if I did jujitsu as much as I need jujitsu for the steam blow off factor, the physical therapy factor, God, I wouldn't be able to walk. I'd be so beat up. I do it like 5 days a week, and there's no way I could do it more, but I need it more in some ways. One of the other things that has come from this pressure of YouTube and metrics, right? Like I told you, everything is scarcity, everything is urgency. Like I got into YouTube to tell a better story because I had these creative ideas and I wanted to get them out. And I'll tell you what, there's nothing better than getting something out of your brain and seeing it. For me anyway, it's the best. But I'm starting to feel trapped in that. I'm starting to feel like there are so many ideas in my head. And even though I can get them out because of how poorly the videos have done over the last 3 months, it makes me feel like it doesn't matter if I get them out. They're not going to go anywhere. They're not going to do anything. They're not going to be of any value to anyone. I've got 25 video ideas up there, and every time I start to make one, I'm making this video in the middle of making another video that I shot 6 different times, and each time just said, this is shit. This is pure shit. You're a giant fucking loser, Brandon. Nobody's gonna wanna watch this. And now I'm making this video. And I don't know if it'll see the light of day. But I can't seem to get this stuff out of my head without me feeling like it's trash. The amount of pressure on my head, it feels like somebody is just squeezing, literally and figuratively. There's so much pressure in my head right now. Sorry. This platform is pretty amazing. Like what it's done for me in the last like few years has been nothing short of life-changing. But I wouldn't wish this feeling on anybody. And I'm making this because I don't want you to feel like this. And I guess my bit of advice, if I were to give you some advice, other than this just being therapy for me, if you decide to do this in almost any capacity, put those blinders on. Turn everything off, like everything. You post your video and then it's gone. We're not on YouTube Studio. Delete that shit. Get it off your phone. Get social media off your phone. Don't spend any time on YouTube other than to answer some of the comments on your channel. Like this platform is doing me almost no good from the sense that it just makes me feel like I'm just gonna edit that part out because that's insane. I got for you. Hopefully I'm gonna upload this and follow my own advice and put the blinders on and then just continue to put out some fun videos for this channel. Anyway, that's all I got. I'll see you later.